بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نون والقلم وما يسطرون ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون وإن لك لأجرا غير ممنون وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم فستبصر ويبصرون بأيكم المفتون إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين فلا تطع المكذبين ودوا لو تدهن فيدهنون ولا تطع كل حلاف مهين هماز مشاء
Later. Alhamdulillah. Sallallahu sallama ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. As usual, inshallah, we'll have our fiqh halaqah. Last time we stopped until we reached the wudu, until we spoke about the furudul wudu. What are the mandatory acts of wudu? We mentioned what is obligatory is what Allah mentioned in the Quran. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha qumtum ila as-salam. Whenever you stand up for salah, Allah says, فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ. Wash your face. That's where Allah started, so that's where the mandatory act starts. So the hand is not mandatory. فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. Allah says wash your hands all the way to your elbows. So this is also mandatory, including the elbows. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. Allah says wipe your heads. So this is where the mandatory comes. وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ. Allah says wash your feet until your ankles, or including your ankle. So these are the mandatory acts, and we said that is called the furudul wudu. So there is sunan. Usually what we know is the way we do is this, there's a lot of sunnah and a lot of mandatory acts included. So inshallah today I will mention the correct way, the sunnah way, quickly so that we can move to the next chapter. When I speak about the sunnah, some people they saying it's a sunnah, so just leave it. When we hear sunnah, we have to strive, we have to try our best to do it. Follow the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ. So we should try our best to do the sunnah if we can. But sometimes you might be in a hurry, you might have a meeting, or maybe you don't have enough of water to do all of it. You have small portion of water, maybe a water that you can only drink. Then at that time you are allowed to only do the mandatory acts of the wudu. So let's quickly go through the sunnah inshallah. Number one, sunnah al-wudu. Number one, it starts from the saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So to seek refuge with Allah from the shaitan and to say بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, that is the first thing to do. There is a hadith of Prophet ﷺ say that we should be saying that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Some scholars, based on that hadith, they made it mandatory even to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. However, Allah did not start with that, so the mandatory is not included in there. So saying A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That's the first step. Step number two, we know, we just revise. Sometimes, we know the knowledge based on Wajadna Aba'ana. We have learned from our fathers. Our fathers used to do this, and we just do that way. Sometimes it's correct, and sometimes we need to make sure what we're doing is something that according to the teachings of Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ says, "Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli." Pray the way you see me praying, not the way you see your parents pray or others. It's not just copy. The religion needs a basira. You need to have a knowledge of what you're doing. You have to have assurance. This is the way of the Prophet ﷺ. That's why we have to seek a knowledge. طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة. To seek a knowledge is a mandatory act upon every single Muslim. So we don't have excuse. If we have mistakes in our wudu or if we have mistakes in our salah, you cannot say, well, my parents did not teach me this way. That will not cut it. That will not be excuse for you in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we have to make sure that we know it right. So we say, A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim. Step number 1, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Step number 2, you wash your hands including your wrist. That's sunnah. So you wash your 2 hands including your wrist 3 times. What mandatory is only 1 time, the sunnah is 3 times. Step number 3, they say that to put miswak in your mouth if you can. Then before you wash your face, it is sunnah to wash your mouth and your nose. And the sunnah way is to fill your right hand with the water. Portion of that, half of it you put it in your mouth and some of it you put it in your nose. So you do this and you sniff it with your left hand. So don't sniff it with your right hand. I see a lot of people make that mistake. So you take it, some in your mouth, some in your nose, you sniff it and you repeat that step 3 times. Then you wash your face. That's step number 4. You wash your face, your entire face, from the point where your hairline starts. So if your hairline is a little back, you have to go back. The original hairline. If you lose it, then it will stay the original ones. So you wash your face starting from the hairline all the way to your chin, below the chin. They say you have to complete the chin. Okay? And then from ear to ear, you have to make sure that the water reaches all of that. So this is also the next step that you're supposed to be doing when you are making wudu. If you have facial hairs, like you have a mustache, you have a beard, you're supposed to be washing them, unless you have a thick beard. So if you have a thick beard, like Brother Ali, then you cannot reach the water. You cannot reach the water into your skin. Then you will do your best. You just put your fingers between your beards. Okay, that's step number 4. Step number 5, you wash your both arms up to and including the elbows. A lot of people forget elbow. You have to wash the elbow, and this is part of the wudu, both hands 3 times. The step number 6, you wipe your head. The sunnah way, the wajib part is فَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. Just wipe some of it. So sunnah would cut it. If you just do this, it would cut it. But if you want to follow the sunnah, then you take your wet hands and wipe it all the way back to your head and come back to the front. So you do this. Go up, back, and come back. So this is how you do it, wiping your head. Also, the sunnah is that when you wipe your head, the back of your arms or hands are wet still. So it's good to use this for your necks, to clean up the sides of your necks. So when you go back, come forth, then you do this so that you could still utilize that part which is wet. After that, washing your ears. Step number 7, you have to wash your ears. This is how the sunnah way to wash it is you use your 2 index fingers and you wash inside of the ears with the index, okay? And you use your thumb for the back of the ears. So this is what you do. You have water is wet, you do this, and you utilize your thumbs and you wash the back of your ears. Is that clear? The next step number, I think 8, you wash your feet up to and including the ankles. You have to make sure that. It's sunnah to use your left and fingers to wash your toes, between your toes, while you're washing your foot. So this is how you do. This is a complete of wudu. There are some of the things that we need to pay attention when we're making wudu. We have to wash the limbs, the parts of the body that we are making wudu successively in a row, in order. You cannot skip one, and starting with the right always. And also when you do the face, sunnah is to start from the face, the top of the face, all the way going down. It's sunnah also to avoid the water splashing on yourself, and it's also sunnah to not, or it's also mandatory, we could say, to not waste the water when we're making wudu. So carefully use the water. So some people, they use the water and they open it so uncareful and they waste water, and that's not allowed. It's not allowed. So this is the steps of the wudu. Any question of the steps of the correct wudu? Go ahead, brother. Harun, go get water for me. Yes, so before you make wudu, you have to make istinja. So we'll teach them to start with istinja first. Istinja means cleaning yourself and washing your private part before you start wudu. Otherwise, you are on a najasa. If you're on a najasa, you cannot even make wudu. If you're in the bathroom, you could say it in your heart. But washing private part, if you mean istinja, cleaning after you use the restroom, then yes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and all of that starts when you start the wudu, is when you start the hands. While you're washing the hand, you can say Bismillah, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and wash. Yeah. Absolutely not, yes. Yes, it's not part of the wudu, it's a different type of cleanliness, which is called istinja. We passed that. Right after you finish your no, but every time you use the bathroom you have to make istinja. Every time you use the bathroom you have to make istinja. One point that I wanted to mention, I lost it, the brother when he was speaking to me, I lost it, and which related to yes, wudu. You don't have to be covered when you're making wudu. You can make wudu naked. So if you're in the bathroom, you take a shower, then you came wudu. Some people, they think you must go put your clothes on, then make wudu. So that's not necessary. That's not necessary, that's it. Okay, I'm going to mention quick some of the cleanness of the body, some of the things that Sharia encouraged when it comes to tahara and cleanliness. Then I will move, inshallah, to the next chapter, which is critical. Cleanliness of the body. So these things are the sunnah. To trim your fingernails is sunnah, and toenails. This is sunnah, and we need to make sure that we take care of it. How often we should do? It depends on the person. Some people, they grow their nails faster than the others. So whenever you grow your nails, is a sunnah that you trim them. That's number one. Number two, it's sunnah and is a part of the cleanness in Islam to clip your mustache to the extent that the pink part of your lips are visible. So some people, you see their mustache going into their mouth. So this is not the sunnah. The sunnah is to trim your mustache so that this part of the pink part, I hope you understand, the soft part is also not covered with hair. Are we clear on that? That's number two. Number three, it's sunnah to block or shave. Block means to pull it out, or shave if you can, the hair of the underarms and also to the nostrils, the hair that comes in the nose. So it's sunnah to do that whenever they grow. Whenever they grow, to not let that to grow more or heavier. Also to shave the pubic hair is also, pubic hair to be shaved is a sunnah and is a part of the cleanness in Islam. Number four, number five, I think we're number five. For the, to apply kuhl is sunnah. To apply a black eyelash is sunnah. So this here is different, you know. I saw in Chicago that entire school, the kids have that kuhl in them, especially the Jama'at Tabligh kids. I saw them. So they say, the scholars, if something is out of norm and you'll be seen as somebody who is deviant, or if you'll be seen, for example, here, if you wear those eyelashes, or not the eyelash, I'm talking about what is called the kuhl. Yeah? Kuhl, this is called in Arabic. Putting those, some people, the black one, when you put those, some people, they'll think you're a gay or you're not straight person. That's what they will assume. So if that's out of norm, then you don't have to do it. And it's called, they say, even it will go from the sunnah and not being a sunnah. something that's mubah, something that's mubah. Number 5 is encouraged to apply henna for the woman, is sunnah. Also is a sunnah for a man who have a gray hair to put some henna on their gray hair. Another part of the cleanliness in Islam is circumcision. For a man, it's wajib, it's a mandatory for boys to be done. The scholars debated about the women, is it sunnah or not? And it's very debatable. We could conclude in a short form it's sunnah. But anyway, in America, it's illegal. And if you do that, you'll go to a long time jail. So in America, it's haram. You can't, it's illegal to do it. But as general rule of Sharia, it's sunnah. And the sunnah, when we talk about circumcision, some of the back home circumcision is inhumane and they hurt the woman. And I know some women, even whenever they have a menstruation, they suffer, they have problems and all of that, then that's haram. That form of circumcision is haram. There's a sunnah form of doing it, and that is not permissible in here, and it's against the law, and we have to follow, as a Muslims, the law of the land. The law of the land. Okay. Also part of the cleanness, dyeing your hair in a color. They say that every color is halal except black. You can dye your hair any color you want but black. Except again, a color that would be looked as something deviant. So pink method, and if you put your hair pink, people would assume you're not, normal, you're not straight. So other than that, there is no prohibition in the Sharia, and the scholars have said that it is permissible unless it is deviant for culture wisely. These are some parts of the cleanness. Yes, in the time of jihad, you're allowed to put it on black so that you'll assume the people, the enemy, that you are still young and fine. Okay. Are we clear in the cleanness? Anything? If you have your socks, so the part that's wajib is only the face. So if your hand is wet, when you wipe off it, yes, you can use it. If your hand is still wet, yes, you can. That's correct. And then wind will only break your fast. You don't have to do istinja, and not fast. Your wudu, and you don't have to do istinja, but you have to do wudu. Inshallah. Al-ma'u qalilun wa kathir. Now we speak more about tahara. Water in Islam, either they are little water or they are abundant water. There's a lot of water. The definition of Islam, a little amount of water, is al-ma' al-qalil. He says, ma dun al-qullatain, whatever is less than qullatain, whatever it's less than qullatain. So qullatain in Islam is 190 liters. Whatever is less than 190 liters, according to Islam, it's considered qalil. And any najasa that falls upon that water will make it impure, according to the most strong opinion, and it's the opinion of Shafi'i, rahimahullah. Some scholars, they say no, as long as it doesn't change the color or anything, whatever it is, however amount it is, it will not be based on the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We could see that based on the Prophet ﷺ, that it is the qullatain is mentioned in the hadith. Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا كَانَ الْمَاءُ قُلَّتَيْنِ لَمْ يَحْمِلِ الْخُبْثِ. If the water is qullatain, it will not carry any najasa at all. Okay. وَالْكَثِير, and the abundant ones, the big amount of water. He says, قُلَّتَانِ فَأَكْثَرُ. Whatever is qullatan, whatever is 190 liters or more. فَأَكْثَرُ. Al-qalil yatanajjas biwuqu' najasa. The little amount, which is less than 190 liter, it is going to be impure as soon as the najasa touches it, impurity touches it. وَإِن لَمْ يَتَغَيَّرِ الْمَاءِ, even though if the water doesn't change, it doesn't matter whether it smells anything, as long as najasa falls upon it, is najasa. وَالْكَثِير, the amount that is abundant, big amount of water, which is more than 190 liters, إذا لا يتنجس, will not be najasa unless إذا تغير طعمه, unless the taste of it changed, أو لونه, or the color of it changed, or the rih, or the wind of it. So the short form is that the water in Islam is divided into small part and little water and abundant water. The little water is 190 liters. As soon as a najasa, impurity touches it, it will be automatically najasa, even if the color or the taste or nothing even had changed. And the water that's a lot or abundant, which is more than 190 liters, then it will only be najasa when the color or the loan, the color or the smell or the taste changed. Other than that, then it will not be a problem. For example, swimming pool is big amount of water. If somebody drops najasa in it, it still is clean and tahir, you can take a shower with it. A lake, example, you take a shower in a lake because of the lake of water, it's too much, more than 190 liters, so najasa befalls upon it, unless the color changes. If the color and smells or is bad, then it's going to be najasa. The water that flows, the flow water, like ain and spring water or river, that one also will never be najasa, unless the ain of najasa is something that's visible for you. Are we clear in this? Anybody have a question about what I mentioned? That's clear, right? Prophet said, إِنَّ الْمَاءَ طُهُورٌ لَا يُنَجِّسُهُ شَيْءٍ. The water is tahir always, nothing will make it impure, إِلَّا مَا غَلَبَ عَلَى رِيحِهِ وَطَعْمِهِ وَلَوْنِهِ, except whatever changes the smell of it, the taste of it, and the color of it. Clear? Good. The water fountain and yeah. In Islam, we cannot assume. For example, especially when it comes to the najasa, we cannot assume unless we have certainty. So we can say there's a high chance that, or there might be, unless you see the color or anything. Other than that, you will assume it as a tahir, the water in general. Yes, unless you know najasa befalls upon it, then it will be najasa. Other than that, if you think, or those things will not change from being clean or pure. But again, if najasa falls upon that water, then you will look on the amount of the water. If the amount of water is too many, then only you look at then again at the color or all those change. If it doesn't, then you're fine. Then it's fine. The next chapter that the Imam had mentioned in his book is called Mujibatul Ghusli. What are the things that will mandate, that will obligate a ritual bath to take a ghusl completely? So he says there are 6 things, 6 factors that would make a ritual bath compulsory, that makes mandatory. Number 1, he says ilaj al-hashafati fil farji. He said, and I have to be very specific in here, and I apologize, and I have to do it. But he says inserting, and I hope that there are kids, but I will not try to be very specific. Inserting the front of your private part, the hashafa, you know, the front part of your, that has different look. Putting that is inside of a woman's private part. We're talking about, again, women that you're married. If you're not married, it's not halal completely at all. So that would make it obligatory. The proof of that, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا جَلَسَ الرَّجُلُ بَيْنَ أَسْبِعِهِ الْأَرْبَعَةِ. If the man sits between the legs of the woman, وَمَسَّ الْخِتَانِ الْخِتَانِ, he said the 2 circumcision, 2 private parts touch each other, فَقَدْ وَجَبَ الْغُسْلِ. He said, indeed, the ghusl is wajib. وَإِن لَمْ يَنزِلْ, even if the person does not release, does not discharge. So if you sleep with your wife, then it will make it that. Okay, I'm trying to avoid the kids with this information. That's clear, right, for adults. وَخُرُوجُ الْمَنِي, discharging is semen would make you obligated to make a ghusl. Based on the Prophet ﷺ, then Sulaim asked him, he said, فَهَلَ عَلَى الْمَرْأَةِ غُسْلِ إِذَا احْتَلَمَتْ. If the woman sees a wet dream, does she have to take a ritual bath? He said, نَعَمْ إِذَا رَأَتِ الْمَاءِ. Yes, if she sees a water. So second thing is خُرُوجُ الْمَنِي. Discharging semen would make it obligatory upon the person to make a complete bath. Now I'm going to mention what makes compulsory to be made a ghusl. Then I'm going to mention after that how to make the ghusl. Inshallah, we're going to reach there. Okay, number 3 is wal-hayd, menstruation. Women, when they have their menstruation, they have to take a shower. Prophet ﷺ, he said, فَإِذَا أَقْبَلْتِ الْحَيْضَ فَضِعِ الصَّلَاةِ. He said, when the hayd comes, quit the salah. وَإِذَا أَدْبَرَ, when the hayd goes away, the menstruation go, فَاغْتَسِلِي وَصَلِّي. Then take a shower and then you can pray. So we will obligate a ritual bath. Okay, when nifas, the postpartum blood, the blood that comes when the woman have a baby, this also would mandate or obligate a ghusl, a ritual bath. This is a qiyasan ala al-hayd, taking an qiyas, analogy of the hayd. Wal-wilada, having a baby, if a woman had a baby and she delivers the baby, then ghusl will be obligated. Then she had to take a shower, and usually because the baby, there's blood that comes with the giving birth and delivering a baby. Wal-maut, when somebody dies also ghusl is wajib. If somebody dies, then the person has to be given a ghusl. It's not wajib upon him, it's wajib upon the community who are there. So these are the 6 things that will mandate, will obligate a ritual ghusl, a ritual bath. Are we clear on this 6? Now, how do you make it the ghusl? How should we do the ghusl? Furud. There are some sunnah way to do it, and there are some portion of it that's obligatory. I'm going to mention the parts obligatory to get done in order to your ghusl to be accepted. Then I will mention how the Prophet ﷺ used to take his ghusl. So what you need the most is to know what are the mandatory acts. Number 1, intention. You have to have an intention that you are taking a ritual bath. Intention, you don't have to say anything in your mouth, but you need to know that you are taking a ghusl. Not just you just went to swim or you just went to take a shower, but you did not intend for a ritual bath. Then a ghusl and a niyyah is an intention, and then it's mandatory. Number 2, وَتَعْمِيمِ الْمَاءِ بِالْجَسَدِ or الْبَدَنِ بِالْمَاءِ, to ensure that the water reaches the entire body. You have to make sure that the water reaches every portion of your body. The scholars, they say some people are fat and their body maybe have some rolls or all of that. Then you have to pull it up, make sure that the water reaches every part. Make sure that your water reaches your underarms. Make sure the water reaches between your legs. Make sure the water even reaches, the scholars they say, that you reach the water all parts, including between your butts. Okay? We have to be very specific in this, and we have to learn. So these are the 2 things. So how you do it, you know that number 1, you have intention, know that you're doing a ritual bath, then go to the shower room and make sure that the water reaches every part of your body. If you have, for example, something that prevents the water to reach your skin, for example, super glue in your body, make sure that you remove first part. What they call it, nail polisher. The woman has it, they need to make sure that they first take it out so that the water reaches complete the entire body. These are the 2 ways to ensure. So make sure that the water, how do you make sure? The best way is to make sure that your hand touches every part of your body, so you will have assurance that the water had reached those parts. So these are the mandatory acts. Go to make intention, then make sure that water reaches everybody with parts. The sunnah, how the Prophet ﷺ used to do it. These are the steps that the Prophet ﷺ used to take it. He used to say, in the name of Allah, starts Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in his heart. If he's in the toilet. Number 1, you say Bismillah from your heart. Then you clean yourself. If you have a dirt or impurity in your body, you would remove those first. Especially you wash your private parts. Number 3, you perform wudu. The Prophet ﷺ used to do wudu in his ghusl. I mentioned in last class, if you made a ghusl, you don't have to make a wudu. But if you want to follow the sunnah, then you start with the wudu. Okay, let me repeat again. You say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Number 2, you wash your private parts and clean all the impurity from your body. Number 3, you make a wudu. Step number 4, you pour the water over your head 3 times. They used to use the water, but these days only the water, you open it. Number 5, he used to wash his right side, the Prophet ﷺ. Then he used to wash his left side, and that's how he used to end his ghusl, his ritual bath. So again, to take a ritual bath, you don't have to take these steps. It's not necessary for you to take the step. It's enough for you to take intention, and it's enough for you to do ta'meem al-badani bil-ma', to make sure that the water reaches completely your body. It's a sunnah to, after you make an ghusl, to apply some perfume, some fragrance in your body. It's encouraged if you can do that. Okay? So these are the ways to take a ghusl, a ritual bath. I'll take questions or comments before I move forward.
I
Yeah, even this is mas'ala fiqh. I mean, fiqh, there is a trick. There's laws in fiqh. It will tell you the only time that you could touch your parts and it will not invalidate your wudu is this time only. The fuqaha usually ask. So it will not. And anyway, you are doing higher than in a hadith. It's called hadith al-akbar and hadith al-asghar. The major ablution and the minor ablution. Minor ablution is the wudu that we do. The major ablution is the ghusl. So if you do major one, which is the ghusl, you don't have to do the minor one. You don't have to do minor. So since you are doing a ghusl afterwards, that would cover your wudu. That would cover your wudu. Say again? In where? Yes. So this is part of fragrance and putting some perfumes on you. Yes, it's encouraged to do it. Did I answer? Yes. Oh, I mean after the ghusl? No, after the ghusl if you touch a private part, it will invalidate. This is before the ghusl. So after the ghusl, if you touch your private part, then you lost your wudu. Then you have to do wudu again. Yeah, I will speak about what negates your wudu. One of it is touching a private part. Yes, I do agree with you. I do understand what you're saying. They will invalidate your wudu because of you touching a private part. But beforewards, then the good thing, if you want to do is beforewards, or don't put it in your private part, or wear gloves. Shurutul wudu. These are the conditions to make wudu. Al-Islam, number one, the person has to be a Muslim. So the deen, in order your wudu to be accepted, the person has to be a Muslim. If he's not a Muslim, then he's not even Ahl al-Ibadah. Wudu is an act of worship. So you can't do it. Allah says, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, oh you believe, إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة. So he's addressing the believers. So if the condition number one, the person has to be Muslim. Condition number two, at-tamyiz. The person has to reach age of at-tamyiz. It's called age of understanding in Islam. The age of understanding generally is 7. Generally it's 7, and that's when your wudu will be accepted. Younger than 7, their wudu, their salah, their acts of worship will not be accepted. He said when he was asked, Mata yusalli as-sabi, when the child should start prayer, he said when he knows shimaluhu min yamini, when he knows his left hand from the right hand, usually is 6-7 years old. 6-7. So tamyiz is condition. Number 3, وَالنِّقَاءُ عَنِ الْحَيْضِ وَالنِّفَاسِ. The person has to be pure from hayd, from menstruation or the period. Make sure that if you have it, then you cannot pray. Prophet he said to Fatima bint Jahsh when she was asking about hayd, he said, فَإِذَا أَقْبَلْتِ الْحَيْض فَضِعِ الصَّلَاةِ. He said, when the hayd comes, when the menstruation comes, abandon the salah, don't pray. And وَإِذَا أَدْبَرْتِ فَاغْتَسِلِي. When the hayd goes away, then make a ghusl, then pray. And even Prophet didn't mention wudu. That's one of the proofs that wudu is not necessary. Okay? That is number 2. Number 3. Number 4. The condition number 4 is وَعَمَّا يَمْنَعُ وُصُولَ الْمَاءِ إِلَى الْبَشَرَةِ. And to make sure that the person being free from anything that prevents the water reaching from the skin. Super glues, anything in your skin that would stop the water reaching your skin. That's the condition. Otherwise, your wudu will not be valid. Not the skin entirely, the skin, the parts that you would wash for wudu. But if it's somewhere else here or in your stomach, it's not a problem for your wudu. وَأَلَّا يَكُونَ عَلَى الْعُضْوِ مَا يُغَيْرِ الْمَاءِ. And the condition number 5, he says that nothing should be upon the limb that would change the quantities of water. Make sure that nothing is on your skin that could change the quantity of the quality of the water. For example, you have so much color in your thing, and first you have to wash that. Or you have so much sand in your body, the hand that you're washing, then first you have to make sure that you wash that before you do the wudu. Nothing that changes the quality of the water, the origin of the water. Number 6 is wal-ilmu. You have to know bifardiyati, that is mandatory, wajib, upon the person to make a wudu. and also knowing that the time time entered for the people who are continuously hadith, therefore continuously remains in the state of impurity, continuous discharge. Somebody gets, for example, sick, he cannot hold his wind, he passes wind every minute or every 5 minutes. That's called da'im al-hadith in fiqh. Or somebody who is salis al-bawl, that he's sick, that something that is dripping from his private part, urine or anything, liquid is coming from him constantly. So that person, what he does, he makes wudu for every single waqt. So the time when it enters Maghrib, then you go and make wudu. Isha, you go and make wudu. You cannot do your wudu before the time. You cannot do your wudus before the time. Is that clear? You cannot do your wudus for that person before the wudu. So these are some of the conditions. These are the conditions of the wudu. Nawaqidul wudu. What nullifies your wudu is the last thing that we will speak. Then we will end the session. Any question? Any comment? Brother. The scholars said, is it mandatory or not? That means not to believe that one of the furud of the wudu is sunnah. So the scholars say it's recommended the person to have the knowledge of it. But if the person, they say, and that's why I didn't emphasize on it and speak about it. So this part in the author of the book, he did not get it accurately. So if the person knows common of the wudu and how to pray, make the wudu, is sufficient for him to make wudu. It's a recommendation, is encourage the person to know fard and sunnah according to Islam. But if he doesn't, then again he should be fine. He should be fine. That's why I did not emphasize on it or mention it. Okay, now the final session, and we will close it. Nawaqidul wudu'i arba'at ashya. There are 4 things that nullifies the wudu. 4 factors that nullify the wudu. Number 1, ma kharaja min as-sabilayn. Whatever comes from the 2 outlets, min qubulin, whether it's from the front, or duburin, or from the back, rihin, where there is a wind, or ghayrahu, or anything else, illa al-maniyya, except the semens. So the semens, it will not invalidate your wudu, but it will obligate a ghusl. So that would cover the wudu part of it. So anything that comes from your 2 outlets, whether wind or something else, whether anything else will invalidate your salah. So if you pass a wind, make wudu. If you pass a wind, then you need to go and take wudu again. Anything that comes, so any side that comes from the 2 outlets, illa al-mani, except the mani. Why the mani? Why the semen is not included? Because it will obligate something major than the wudu, which is ghusl. Number 2, zawalul aqli binawm, losing your intellect or your aql in general, any form of losing it, whether binawmin or ghayr, whether you sleep or not. Because when you lose maybe you pass a wind, you don't know, or maybe something happened to you, you don't know. So because of that, if you sleep, then, or if they give you injection where you don't know what was happening, or they put you to sleep, all of this will invalidate. إِلَّا نَوْمَ قَاعِدٍ مُمَكَّنٍ مَقْعَدَهُ مِنَ الْأَرْضِ, except a person who's sitting and keeping his butt on the floor. For example, the way Ali is sitting, that's how they say the show. So if the person sleeps that way, and he didn't move, like sitting like that, and he goes out for 5 minutes and he wakes up, still he's fine. But other than that, they say that there is a majal, there is a way that he could pass winds. So if you are mumakkin in maq'adahu fil ard, if you are like sitting like that and putting your butt on the floor, that there's no way that nothing could come out from it, then you are fine. Then you are fine. Are we clear in this? So you're sitting that way, if you sleep, khalas. Yeah, there's a chance that you might lost it. Number 3, iltiqa'u basharatay. This is where the argument comes. Iltiqa'u basharatay rajulin aw imra'ah. The 2 skin of man and woman touch each other. Kabirain, 2 old one. Ajnabiyin, they are not related. Min ghayri ha'il, without anything, any barrier between them. So according to Shafi'i, your wife, if she touches you, then your wudu is lost. And then also Maliki shares this with. According to Hanafi, Imam Abu Hanifa, and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, it's not it's not true. It will not invalidate. Why the khilaf come and where it come from? The khilaf came from the ayah itself. أَوْلَا مِسْتُمُ النِّسَاء, Allah says, when you touch the woman. What Allah means lams. There is some hadith that will indicate the meaning of lams as touching. Like al-yadu talmas, he said the hand, it will touch, physical touch. The multiple hadith shows that. There's multiple other hadith, lams indicates it's as a sleeping with your wife, or I mean, having intercourse with your partner, with your wife, of course, when I say partner. So these are the fine line. These are the fine line. My son is turning away. I'm afraid my son to figure out some of the things happening. So that's where the dalil disagreement comes. Those who say lams means touching, means really intercourse, those have more strong dalil in it. Those have more proof in it, because there's multiple narrations that was narrated from the Prophet ﷺ shows that Aisha touched him in skin to skin while he was in a prayer, and he did not stop his prayer. Sometimes he says, Aisha says that I sleep while he was praying, and whenever he is about to do sujood, he just touched my skin and pokes me a little bit, so I move my foot away. There's another one that she says, I could feel the coldness of the skin of the Prophet ﷺ while he was praying. There's another narration that she was touching his head when he was praying, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So based on those narrations, we say and conclude that the people who say that touching doesn't mean a regular touch, a physical touch. It means a touching is a physical touch which is not meant for any desire. Rather, it means with a desire. So accidentally you touch a woman, then it will not invalidate your wudu. It will not invalidate your wudu. However, this doesn't mean you to go around and touch a woman and shake their hands and all of that. Prophet forbade that. Prophet forbade that. Would one of you like to hold a piece of fire in his hand, he said, than shaking a woman who is ajnabi from him, who is far away from him. So other than that, touching will not, especially if there is no intentions of desire in it. But if you touch somebody with a shahwa, with the desires, the fuqaha had agreed that the person has to make wudu. Yes, outside to the masjid, yes. When he was going out of the home, it was reported sallallahu he used to kiss his wife before he goes to the masjid. So this is one of the proof that shows that touching without desire will not invalidate your wudu. So we could say and clearly see that the adillah, the proofs, the evidence are enough for us to say that touching our wife. But back home, some people are Shafi'is, strict. Whatever you say, they will not take it from you. And they say, don't touch me, don't touch me. I have wudu, now I have to make it again, and all of that. Okay, clear? Yes. So, if there is a desire, yes. If there is no desire, it will not. We will not lose your wudu if there is no desire in it. Some business could be a desire with it. Yeah, but yes, that will not invalidate wudu, but it's not permissible in Islam. It's not permissible in Islam. As the hadith said, the Prophet ﷺ, he said the person, it's better for him to hold a piece of fire in his hand than shaking a hand of a woman who's ajnabi. Yes, you might see some scholars who they say need is there, not to embarrass and all of that. I don't believe in that, and I don't do it. Sometimes, rarely people catch on me, and in a few seconds, and sometimes you cannot avoid it. But if you can avoid it, do it. And the people will respect you. Not only Muslims does, the rabbis don't shake hands. They know already. You're going, so say, I don't shake hands, but I will put you in my heart. Like this. I'll keep you in my heart like that. There's a story that happened, one of the Somali imams, he says that there was a gather that I had attended, so there was shaking hands. One of the ladies came, he said, shake. She gave him his hand to shake, and she refused, and then what is his name? The sheikh said, la, don't shake hands. They said, okay, you give a hug, come here. She gave him a hug. Yeah, no problem. She said, if you don't shake hands, come here. She gave him a hug. Sometimes they do it without you. No problem. I don't know. It's maybe worse, because there will be desire could involve in there. Yeah. So that is clear, inshallah. That's clear. That third one. The final one. الرابع مس قبل الآدمي أو حلقة دبره ببطن الراحة أو بطون أصابع. Touching an ajnabi person, and I don't know, I mean Adami person, human being, touching their private part with your hand, with the part that's apparent of the hand or the fingers, this would invalidate your wudu. For example, if you have a kid who you are cleaning after, then this will invalidate. But with this ha'il, if there is something between you guys, you wear gloves, will not invalidate. The Prophet ﷺ's hadith clear that touching private part and touching your private part would invalidate your wudu. Will invalidate your wudu. Yes. If you touch it with your hands, then you have to redo it. Based on that hadith of Prophet ﷺ, you have to make the wudu again. It will invalidate it. Yeah. A lot of information, right? That's why it's good you come today, inshallah. We clear. These are the four things that will invalidate your wudu. Let me quickly repeat for the people who just came in, and I don't know why they were late. Number one, أن نواقض الوضوء ما خرج من السبيلين. What nullifies the wudu? Number one, anything that comes from your two outlets, the front or back, whether front or back, whether wind or anything that comes from your two outlets will invalidate your wudu, except the mani, except the semen. If you discharge semen, will not invalidate your wudu, but it will obligate something major than wudu, which is ghusl. Number one. Number two, losing your intellect if you sleep or not. So if you sleep or you lost your intellect, you went crazy a little time, or you don't know what was going on, or you take some medication, or you use drugs, you got high that you didn't know what was going on, then that would invalidate your wudu. Number three, as Imam Shafi'i says, touching a woman who is ajnabi to you, who is older, based on Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, your wife would invalidate your wudu if you touch her. But we spoke about the adillah, and we said both of the dalils, when we compared the dalils, the evidences, those who say it will not invalidate, is more stronger. So your wife will not break your wudu, based on the hadith of the Prophet that he prays while Aisha radiallahu anha in front of her, and he touched her while he's praying to move her legs away. Sometimes he would report that she says, I touched the skin of the Prophet, it was so cold. It was reported also the Prophet when he leaves his house, he used to kiss his wife. So these are enough proofs for us to conclude that Shafi'i madhab is weak on this point. And final point is mas qubul al-adami, to touch a private part of a human being, front or back. If you touch it with your skin without ha'il, without barrier between you and it, then it will invalidate your wudu. It will invalidate your wudu. So these are the nawaqil wudu al-arba'a. Inshallah. Then we're gonna move into next chapter, inshallah, next class. Any question of what I have mentioned? Go ahead, brother. Yeah. It's debatable. In this, there's three aqwal. One qawl says that wiping 3 times sunnah. Qawl number one. Qawl number two, wiping 1 time your head is sunnah. There's qawl you can wipe your hair with your ears at the same time. There's another qawl. So all is valid. All is valid. Do you have to go back and front? This sunnah. According to Shafi'i madhab, 1 sha'ra, 1 hair of your head, if it touches water, then you're good to go. So like you do this, then it's good, you're good to go. Only 1 hair, if it gets wet, it's good to go. But the sunnah is to go back and front and use the sides of your hands for your neck. For your neck. That's the sunnah way. Was that? The dreads and the hair would touch it or not? Oh, the dreads is the one that you connect to your hair, or is your original hair? Regular or connected? But it's his hair, the person's hair. Right? If the person's original hair, natural hair, then you just wipe over it, no problem. You don't have to go to all of it. Yes. Yes, it's debatable though. It's debatable, but according to the most strongest opinion, this is you can. It's like khuffain. If there is difficulty to take out your imamah, especially some cultures, they have big one and all of that, then you can wipe. So for some women, in some places they cannot take it off to do their hair wudu, then they don't have to take it over. But if you want to be in a safe, just put your finger in your hair, one finger. Put it up, one finger, let the water reach there. Let the water reach. But khuffain, when we speak about khuffain, we'll also speak about wiping over the head covers, your kufi. Yes. This is how the Prophet did it, but the ayah, if you look at it, what it says, وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى what is it? إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. Allah says بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. Some they say بِرُؤُوس is not all the بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ, قِسْم or قِسْط مِنْ رُؤُوسِكُمْ. That's what it means. It doesn't mean all of it. That's where the debate comes. That's why Shafi'i goes only with any sha'rah that the water reaches it. And there's in some of the narrations and that it's the khuffain is followed the head covers. And when we go there, we will speak about it, inshallah. Any other question? Go ahead, brother. You will invalidate your law. But there is a chance that you could lose your wudu. So anytime, whenever you lose your intellect, then it is. The nawm also they speak about, if the nawm is khafif, if it's short, and you are aware of your surroundings, and you are aware of your surroundings, then that's not a nawm. We're talking about nawm that's amiq, that you're not aware of your surroundings. No, I think there's the scholars, the Shafi'i one I'm saying, it says only that way. The one like Abdullah is sitting and it's not. There is a way that you could do like this, like that, but that could go away. All of it has to completely on the floor. But when you sit on the car, you're kind of like this, I think. Allahu A'lam. Yes. Anyway, do your own ijtihad. If you feel like there's no way nothing could come out, then you're fine. This is the ijtihad of the scholars. They say only this way, like the brother sitting. But if you're yes, and aware that there's no way that could come out from. Yeah. Yes. It's good to do the tajdid al-wudu, to renew your wudu. So whenever you take a nap, just go ahead and do the tajdid al-wudu. For every drop of the water, Allah would remove your sins away from. So it's an opportunity that you can take advantage of. That kid is talking, can't hear you. Yes. Accident touch is not a problem, as long as you don't touch it up for desire, and there's not going to be desire. You're fine. If you release anything, it will invalidate your wudu. ما خرج من السبيلين. Yes, it will invalidate your wudu. It depends what you release. If you release wadi, then you have to wash only, and then you have to wash your proper part. So if you release your actual semen, then you have to make a ritual bath. But sometimes there is something that comes before that. For example, when you see some rahat kida, those small liquid that comes from you, that will not obligate a ritual bath. Rather, you will only go and wash that private part and make wudu. You could do it. This is one of the ways to do it, yes. Yeah. Yes, once. And wipe your hair and the rest do with the ears. This is Shafi'i madhab, by the way. This is what Shafi'i encourages to do. Yes, both ways it was narrated. So you could do one mouth 3 times, nose 3 times, or you could combine it. Both of the ways is fine. Wiping over your shoes and your socks is permissible for the muqim for 4 hours, and for the musafir 3 days and 3 nights. Yes. You don't have what? Then tayammum is your next option, dry ablution. We'll speak about next class, inshallah. Are we good? Now, if you have a socks, you don't have to go under the socks. You just wipe over it, on the top, and the top only. This is a foot, you wipe at the top, that's enough. Yes. Over the socks or over the shoes, both ways, okay. Both ways. You don't have to take your shoes. You can wipe over the shoes. You could do either way. Both ways are reported. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
You can mix sunnah. You guys want to mix sunnah or you want to pray? Let's pray.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا سدوا الخلل. Straight lines, close your gaps. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ومن يقل إني إله من دونه فذلك نجزيه جهنم كذلك نجزي الظالمين. أولم ير الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون وجعلنا في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بهم وجعلنا فيها فجاجا سبلا لعلهم يهتدون وجعلنا السماء سقفا محفوظا وهم عن آياتها معرضون وهو الذي خلق الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر كل في فلك يسبحون وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد أفإن مت فهم الخالدون كل نفس ذائقة الموت ونبلوكم بالشر والخير فتنة وإلينا ترجعون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلامة الطيبة لله السلام. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط المستقيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله واتوب إليه. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تبارك الله. اللهم أعني على ذكرك وشكرك. استغفر الله واتوب. السلام عليكم. ما شاء الله. Oh, ما شاء الله. Ustaz.
Besok pertama benar.
Okay.